Morning traders, this is your Aussie South African Top 40 review for today. So the pullback has continued and we're kind of breaking through the levels that I would have expected us to find some support at. But there is a little bit of a gap here. Actually, there's two gaps here. There's this one and there's this one. If I remember correctly, this is not valid data here. So let me just use these top levels here. So there's our first gap. And there's our second gap. And we can basically just fine tune that on a lower time frame. You can even go as low as 5 minutes if you want to. So there's the one. That's definitely, well, that gap was closed actually. Okay, but let's leave them in. This gap wasn't closed, but this one definitely was closed. As you can see, we gapped up, came back, closed the gap, and then moved. So this bottom gap is the one that's open, but those levels line up. You can see this level up here, which was this previous swing low. We kind of broke through it and then immediately came back to test it. The trend is down at the moment on the 12, so that's pretty much what I would expect us to be doing. Now again, as I said to you yesterday, lower time frames at the moment are pretty reliable. You can see the gap down, and then in this bar we came back to test the alligator, kind of rejected it. You could have looked for any entry up between these two levels here. So this is the inside tail, and there's the next inside tail there. So you can see that's kind of the zone where the seller stepped in, and then it just gradually meandered down. Okay, so we do have futures closeout coming up this week, so I do suspect we're more than likely going to just hover around in this area until the futures closeout happens, and then we will pick a new direction. So I am still looking at what's happening with the Feds at the moment, and that is fairly interesting. If I do that to there, you can see what we have. We have a little bit of a wedge, not a very positive wedge for me anyway, on that time frame or on any other time frame at the moment. It's also a bit of a head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder with a break. This could be a top, so we're looking for a pullback. Trend has changed on the hour. I'd like to see a retest of that first before committing to that. So yeah, I think for me at the moment, with the Aussie, I'm just going to wait and see. I'm going to place my bets on the Dow at the moment, and it is a bet because you don't know how the market's going to react to whatever the Fed say. If they are dropping interest rates because of economy fears, if they're worried about a recession, then you can expect the market to fall. If they drop interest rates as an insurance mode, and they're pretty confident of the economy, then the markets will climb. But it's very difficult to ascertain what they're going to come up with. So I think for me on this, I think it's going to be volatile today and tomorrow. So I'm probably going to stay out of the Aussie until we get some direction and focus on an easier trade where I have less risk or less exposure. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment on this. It looks like we have a trend change, but you go up higher in the time frames, you can see it's still in a positive, still in an upward trend. This could just be a bit of a pullback, and a pullback is due. I mean, look at how we've rallied. You see rally, pullback, rally, pullback, rally, pullback. And a nice deep pullback would be very interesting. In fact, for me, a pullback down to that gap, or even better, down to this swing low here, would be ideal. That would be a nice entry for a long. And your risk is pretty low because your stop is going to be below this level. Okay, so pull back to 48,900. 49, sorry, 49,930. And 50 is obviously going to be a round number, so that's also an area that I think will happen. And you'll probably find with the futures that 50,000 is an area where there's quite a lot of puts or pulls that have been put in for that. So they're going to want to finish as close to that level as possible. And you can expect this market to be pretty volatile backwards and forth around this area. But once futures closeout has happened, then it could be a very good entry for a long. So we can continue this uptrend. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's my view for today. I hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.